See you there. I'm Bailey, and welcome back to another episode of Crash Course U.S. Government. Today we're going to be talking about political parties, the legislative branch, the executive branch, the bureaucracy, the judicial branch, and policymaking. Today, political parties continue to greatly influence American politics. They shape elections, define political disputes, and organize Congress. Our political leaders generally come from either the Republican or Democrat Party. Nevertheless, the American political system supports more than just these two parties, and third-party candidates often have a lasting impact on the policies, even if they rarely win major races. A political party is an alliance of like-minded people who work together to win elections and control the government. Political parties compete against one another for political power and for the ability to put their philosophies and policies into effect. The Democrats are more open to change and want everyone to be represented equally. They believe in things such as pro-choice, stricter gun laws, and more government spending on social programs, while the Republicans are less open to change and want to bring America back to their traditional values. They believe in things such as pro-life, less government spending on social programs, and less intervention in business and the economy. Public policy refers to the actions taken by government, its decisions that are intended to solve problems and improve the quality of life for its citizens. At the federal level, public policies are enacted to regulate industry and business, to protect citizens at home and abroad, to aid state and city governments and people such as the poor through funding programs, and to encourage social goals. A policy established and carried out by the government goes through several stages. These are agenda building, formulation, adoption, implementation, evaluation, and termination. History has shown that once implemented, policies are difficult to terminate. When they are terminated, it is usually because the policy became obsolete, clearly did not work, or lost its support amongst the interest groups and elected officials that placed it on the agenda in the first place. Today, political parties continue to greatly influence American politics. They shape elections, define political disputes, and organize Congress. Our political leaders generally come from either the Republican or Democrat Party. Nevertheless, the American political system supports more than just these two parties, and third-party candidates often have a lasting impact on the policies, even if they rarely win major races. A political party is an alliance of like-minded people who work together to win elections and control the government. Political parties compete against one another for political power and for the ability to put their philosophies and policies into effect. The Democrats are more open to change and want everyone to be represented equally. They believe in things such as pro-choice, stricter gun laws, and more government spending on social programs, while the Republicans are less open to change and want to bring America back to their traditional values. They believe in things such as pro-life, less government spending on social programs, and less intervention in business and the economy.
Here are some of the most influential presidents that the United States of America has ever had. Here we have some of the greats, such as Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, and George Bush. Just like them, I want to make America great again. That's why I'm banning gay marriage.
The legislative branch of the federal government, composed primarily of the U.S. Congress, is responsible for making the country's laws. The members of the two houses of Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate, are elected by the citizens of the United States. Steps of a bill are: first, it has to be introduced by a member of Congress. Then it will be assigned to a committee, where then it will be voted on in the House and then be voted on in the Senate. Finally, it makes its way all over to the president, and he will either sign it or veto it. Then, if he vetoes it, it will be sent back to Congress, where they can either override the veto or try and change the law so the president will sign it.
Gay marriage? Who the? Abortion? What the? Tax reform? Client is unable to wear flip-flops, Bill. Well, I'll be.
We use the word bureaucracy as an insult. For most people, the term conjures long lines of angry people, piles of paper just about to tip over, and workers asleep at their desks.
Abraham Lincoln, put your phone away. Shave your beard. Get you. What are you, like one of these tree-hugging, saving hippies? Focus on the work.
Employs 2.6 million people within its bureaucracy. A bureaucracy is a way of administratively organizing large numbers of people who need to work together. Organizations in the public and private sector, including universities and governments, rely on bureaucracies to function. The job of a bureaucrat is to implement government policy, to take the laws and decisions made by elected officials and put them into practice. The Department of Motor Vehicles, the CIA, the Peace Corps, the U.S. Capitol Police, and the Small Business Administration are all part of the American bureaucracy, but so are religious groups, businesses, and educational institutions. The power of the executive branch is vested in the President of the United States, who also acts as the head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The President is responsible for implementing and enforcing the laws written by Congress, and to that end appoints the head of the federal agencies, including the cabinet. The President is also a part of the executive branch, along with the Vice President, ready to assume the presidency should the need arise. The cabinet and independent federal agencies are responsible for the day-to-day enforcement and administration of federal laws.
Order in the court. Order in the court. The defendant has been found guilty on 3 charges of stealing Mr. Klein's suckers. The justices have come to a unanimous decision. You have been sentenced to death.
Well, that's all for today's crash course on U.S. government. We learned a lot here today, and we also learned that our Congress sucks. We also learned that our flip-flop wearing government teacher also kind of sucks, but we love him more than Congress. We hope you have a good day, and this has been Bailey Pfister.